Now, going back to what I was saying, self love is the crown jewel of consciousness. If you can manage to love yourself through any situation, you can accomplish any goal. You'll realize that many of the individuals who have achieved massive levels of success as far as business, as far as artistry, as far as tapping into higher levels of consciousness, as far as spirituality, all of these individuals quite often are perceived as narcissistic. Why are they seen as narcissistic? Well, simply because they love themselves so much. They have to give themselves that high level of self love, even loving themselves beyond our understanding, simply just to be able to function in the world where they're going to create their own reality. They don't want to doubt themselves. So, in order to obliterate that doubt that's often going to creep in when you have big goals, you have to give yourself a tremendous amount of self love. You think Jeff Bezos doesn't doesn't have moments of self doubt? But in order for him to continue going and go around telling the whole world, we're going to populate Mars in 5 years. Imagine the self love he has to have in order to have that goal. An individual who says, we're going to build a new nation. We're going to leave Britain behind. We're going to form our own government. We're going to rebut and completely resist British military force. And we're going to start a new country called America with a completely different concept of government, totally different concept of religious opposition and all of that. There will be a separation between the church and the state. There'll be a separation between people's individual opinions and the opinions of the government. We'll give people the freedom to do whatever they want. In order for you to have that kind of vision, you have to love yourself. Because if you doubt yourself, you'll never be able to achieve anything of that level of greatness. And America has its flaws. America has its issues. I don't agree with everything America has done or agree with everything the American government has done, particularly against black people. But I will say that this is a massive and strange and interesting experiment that we call democracy. And this experiment couldn't have begun if it wasn't for individuals who had love for themselves enough where they could say, let's go for it. If you're an individual who wants to get married, you expect another person to love you until the day you die. You have to have self-love. You have to have enough self-love to say, you know what, let's go for it. My sense of my own value was so powerful, let's go for it. I don't have to question myself. Let's go for it. I don't have to question the future simply because I love myself enough to understand that I'm going to protect this being, this spatial temporal, blip of consciousness that we refer to as me. I'm going to protect it. Nobody's going to hurt me ever. There's never going to be a moment of self-doubt. There's never going to be a moment where I'm going to stop growth. There's never going to be a moment where I'm going to hold back because I love myself so much. I would never defy myself or defile myself by doubting who I am and allowing external forces to conquer this space that I inhabit. This is my space. This is me. Everything in this space belongs to me. I am the I am. I am the I am. But I can't say that about myself if I don't love myself. The scriptures say God is love. You think a being can create heaven and earth, space and time, light and darkness, create human life, create death without some sense of its own value and its own power. Whether you believe in God or not, I personally believe in a higher force. Some don't, but that's fine. In order to achieve anything, in order to build anything of value, there needs to be self-love. That's the core and the root of all things. Obliterating your self-doubt hinges upon empowering yourself, and it hinges upon your self-love. There is a direct correlation between your love of self, your knowledge of self, and your self-love. without those things, particularly without self-love, what future do you have? And I know many of us have been rejected. But once again, we're talking about those memories. You've been rejected. You've been hurt. You've been traumatized. You've been told by critics you're not good enough. You don't remind me of the last person I dated, the last guy I was with, the last woman I was with. They were better than you. You don't meet my standards. You're not tall enough. You're too short. You're not thin enough. All these critiques and all this criticism has been so destructive to you. But if you love yourself, these critiques and these criticisms mean nothing. That self-love becomes your armor, and no matter how many arrows are hurled against you, no matter how many spears are hurled against you, how many bullets fly, your armor of self-love will be impenetrable. It's like it says in the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita, the whole book is a book about a god, Krishna, who appears in the form of a charioteer for the king, Arjuna. And Arjuna is in a position where he has to go to war. He doesn't want to because he's going to war with his own family, his own cousins, his own, uncles. He doesn't want to fight. And Krishna is telling him, you have to fight. Arjuna is afraid for so many reasons because he doesn't feel the battle is right. He doesn't feel the war is worth it. He doesn't want to hurt his own family. And he's afraid he might lose. And Krishna tells him, you've already won. You've already won. All you have to do is launch the first arrow, and nature and karma and fate and God will take care of everything else. That's self-love. The assurance that success is inevitable. That's the gift of self-love. Self-doubt and fear and trauma, all of those things assure you that you will fail. These memories serve no purpose. All they do is continue to perpetuate your failure and your fear. But self-love empowers you to always be successful. Imagine being in a situation where you're always going to be successful. You're always going to get what you desire. Simply because you love yourself so much, you won't settle for anything less. And that self-love is so attractive and so alluring that you'll benefit from business situations. You'll benefit from relationship situations. You'll benefit from spiritual situations. You'll get everything that you need from every situation you find yourself in simply because self-love is that magnificent. If only you could focus your mind on loving who you are, but give yourself the same unconditional love that you give to the things and the people around you. So many people love our government unconditionally. Fine. Just love yourself the same. You love your church and your religion unconditionally. Fine. Love yourself the same. You love your mother, you love your uncles, you love your family unconditionally. Fine. Love yourself the same. Study the way you love them and what you do for them, and give them that, and give yourself that same thing. I am absolutely positively in love with a particular person, a woman. Okay, how are you going to treat this woman? You going to take her out to dinner? Okay, fine. Take yourself out to dinner. You going to write a poem for her? Write a song for her? Sing to her? Fine. Do the same thing for yourself. Why not? I do the same thing. I might, wake up in the morning, go look at myself in the mirror and say, oh, good. Damn. I didn't know I look this good. Damn. Or sometimes I might get on my knees. In the morning I have a ritual. I get on my knees and just show gratitude every day. I tell myself, I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that my children are healthy. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm able to generate money and I have a job. Imagine if you woke up every single day and say, I'm grateful that I'm me. Why not? Being you is a blessing. Regardless of the hardships, regardless of what you may go through, being you is a magnificent gift. It's a beautiful gift. It's a magnificent occurrence that you are who you are. Why wouldn't you show gratitude for being you? That self-love is a destroyer of all wickedness. In Hinduism, they say that Shiva is the god of destruction, but not just the god of destruction of the world and the universe and the god of transformation. He is the god who is the destroyer of wickedness. He is the destroyer of illusions. Your self-doubt is an illusion. Your self-doubt is the false world. And the only reality is God. Destroy your self-doubt so you can tap into your inner God and see what you're capable of. You don't know the full levels of your potential. You don't know the full depth of your power because you won't tap into you. It's all blocked. You got self-doubt. Stop blocking yourself and let yourself be free. Let yourself know yourself on the deepest imaginable level simply by loving yourself. So before we end this lecture, this speech, this mindfulness period, let's go back over what we learned. What are the ways in which you can obliterate self-doubt? Simple. Mindfulness. Just be mindful. And begin the practice of watching your thoughts drift by without judgment, without fear, without experiencing these thoughts. Just be mindful. Be in the moment. Immersed in the moment to the level where thoughts of the past and fear of the future is gone. Second, self-efficacy. Develop the skills to become the person you want to become. We don't manifest the things that we want. We attract the things that we want. Become the person who's going to attract the things that you want by developing skills. Every day as a person, you should be developing skills anyway. Quite often, depression is caused by a lack of personal development. Once you begin to develop certain skills, whether it be business skills, relationship skills, skills in playing an instrument like myself, becoming a master of this guitar. Once you develop these skills, you begin to obliterate self-doubt. Stepping out of your comfort zone. Stepping out of your comfort zone is so important because it's another way of being mindful and being in the moment. When you step outside of your comfort zone, you're so aware of the moment and so aware of what's happening now. You're not thinking about the past because you're outside of your comfort zone, and everything you truly want and desire is in that place, that weird, bizarre realm just outside of your comfort zone. And for some of us, we have a very big comfort zone, but we always have to keep growing. Keep growing. Keep stepping outside of the comfort zone so you can begin to obliterate self-doubt even more. Then once you step outside your comfort zone, monitor your improvement. Keep track. This month, I did this. Next month, I did that. You'll begin to see like you're improving, you're getting better, and that helps you to obliterate self-doubt too. When you see how far you've come, you look back and you realize, wow, 2 months ago I was at this level, now I'm at this level. And then last but not least, of course, self-love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Dun, 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 dun. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. Just understand that. Understand that self-love is the most powerful force. And it's the greatest gift you can give to you. And you deserve that gift. And then you won't have to be afraid of self-doubt. You won't have to be afraid of anything holding you back. There will be no shackles to your consciousness. Once you get to the point where you're beyond not loving yourself and you love yourself, then you'll be able to tap into higher levels of consciousness. The only thing holding you back is the lack of self-love. And then you'll be able to understand that all is one. That you are the house of worship, you are the God, you are the force, you are the creator and the creature all at the same time. But you won't believe that as long as you continue to doubt yourself. Well, I don't know if anybody is here watching with me. I don't see nobody watching. But that's okay. I'm still glad I gave this little lecture, this little speech. And we will try again next time. Next time I'll see you guys. Peace and love. Love is light. Yeah, that sounds bad. that sounds real bad. But until then, peace and blessings.